because this whole idea of looksmaxxing, I mean, I'm not going to say that I don't care about the way I look or that I, don't try to look presentable when I get in front of the camera. I think I do the best I can with what I've got. And in the case of looksmaxxing, at least this is my vague understanding of what it's all about. Essentially, what you have are very vain, looks-obsessed type people who do everything in their capacity to look young, chiseled, and sharp. But it becomes an obsession. And I think that there's a good deal of douchebaggery that goes with it. And I don't really know. And again, I'm not going to say that Clavicular is not popular with women. He is a good-looking guy. However, there are many reasons why people end up doing these types of stories. I think it's unfortunate what social media has created when it comes to the looks crisis, as I would call it. People become very insecure about how they look because they think they don't look good enough. And that's where people like Clavicular come in, and they try to convince you that you need to look like a porcelain doll almost. And in the case of Clavicular, the reason this is a big deal is because he did, in fact, go to the Holy Land. And whatever the reasoning is, because this is one of those paid, it's one of those paid Israeli trips. And here's what he had to say about his experience.
Are you self-funding this? Like, who paid for your flights? Who's paying for this?
Those are questions you don't want to ask.
Oh.
So, that's confidential, you know?
Okay. Okay, understood. That's obviously going to raise way more questions, like, with your audience.
I just said that because it's a viral clip. I actually don't even know.
I can guarantee you that there's no government involved, that's for sure.
So, the name of this inbred that is over his shoulder, I want to make sure I get this right for you guys, because I've seen him around a few times, and I wasn't 100% sure who he was, but I think it's important we get this right. People want to know, the audience wants to know, who is this guy? So, his name, I believe, is Yossi. It is Yossi Farrow. So Yossi Farrow is this crazy-looking Zio scum over his shoulder, watching every word that he says, making sure that he doesn't get out of line with his language.
I'm just.
No government money.
Yeah,
no
government money.
So if he is so adamant about saying, don't think for a second this money came from Israel, rest assured the money came from Israel. As is a problem within these communities, inbreeding is common practice. When you look at some of the most distinguished Zionist families, like the Rothschilds, it's a common practice in a lot of different cultures as well. Inbreeding, marrying first cousins, for example, very common practice. This guy looks atrociously bad, to say the least. Maybe that's why he brought him there, to help him make him look better. Clavicular has more detestable bullshit Hasbro to sell you as well.
Is this country a genocidal, fascistic place, or what do you want to look into there?
No. So I'm not a political guy necessarily, right.
But I was just paid a shitload of money to go to the Holy Land to witness the not genocide happening, and having to get in front of a very popular streaming and say, no, nothing like you've been told is actually happening here. Can I get my check, please? That's how it goes down. This is a paid propaganda trip. He had his hand out, ready to go. He's not worth a lot of money yet, but he's trying to get there. And he's hoping that this springboards him. That's what he's counting on. And he probably will make a nice buck.
You know, you look up on TikTok about Israel, and it says it's like bombs and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
right.
But we're here, and it's not that. It's a good time, you know. We were walking around at 5 in the morning,
Interesting. Yeah.
and it's safe. Yeah, we're here to have a good time, explore the city.
I see.
It doesn't necessarily have to have a million political implications.
I see. Okay.
We're kind of traveling around, meeting new people, and it's been a great experience. So it's
All in the name of the shekels. That's why you do this. You would have no other reason to do it. If I was that vain and obsessed with my looks, maybe I could be a looksmaxxer, but I think personality goes a much longer way. Now, I'm not going to say all models are dumb, but this guy sounds pretty fucking dumb. And of course, you have to be pretty dumb if you're taking photographs like this. So not only do you find yourself over at the wall, but you do it with Gavir. Did you have Gavir fuck you in the ass while you fucked the wall? Was it a nice little, triple shot going on? Is that how you get down? Because he looks like the bottom. I'm not going to lie. If Clavicular is into male on male action, I picture him as the catcher, not the pitcher. Just a thought. But he certainly has taken it really hard if he thinks that this was necessary. And not that I think he asked for it. I think they basically told him what he was going to need to do to get what he wanted. And what he wants is relevance. That's why they do this. But now, because he did this, I am convinced that he may very well have some very serious dirt under his skin, and he wants to make sure it stays that way. But it should never be forgotten that this loser of a human, Looksmaxxing, likes to hang out with a bona fide mass murderer, a torturer, an animal in Ben Gavir. Is it really worth it? I have never watched anything that Caligula does, but I'm not going to. I just saw this pop up about how he went over there. And the only thing that struck me is, oh yeah, he's an opportunist. He's just trying to get paid. That's all it is. He has no other motivation. I don't think he's capable of thinking of anything other than, how do I get rich and famous? How do I get rich and powerful? And a way that he is convinced in his mind that he is capable of getting there is by being a spokesperson for Israel. I mean, let's face it, Israel is an extremely vain culture that constantly talks about how beautiful the people are there. So I guess they feel he's beautiful enough to sell their bullshit, and he's willing to do it. And apparently, the reason why he was willing to make this, pilgrimage over to this place, and why he did what he did, he clearly did a good job because he was rewarded for it.
From J Drip gave me this beautiful necklace. Wow. And I don't really wear necklaces, so I think it would be beautiful for you to have it. Sure. So it's an OpenAI logo. You know OpenAI logo? Yeah. And you got a Star of David inside of it. Oh. I think it's a pretty cool necklace.
Show the camera, Hills.
That's right.
Look at this. Look at this.
So ChatGPT?
Yeah, basically ChatGPT, Magen David.
Oh yeah.
Let's see it. Let's do it. Anyone know how to put on a necklace?
I'll figure it out. I might have to. I'm gonna have to make this a little.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, let me make this a little bit.
Perfect.
Wow, guys, look at this. What a guy. Hey, thank you so much.
Oh, 100%. My pleasure.
Oh my God. Is there anything? Yeah, the one thing, Mary Ploppins, the one thing you could say about these beards, they're so weird looking. They're so nasty. There's nothing attractive about those beards. They're not even ZZ Top worthy. Unfortunate. But again, I need to know why he did this. Did he think it was going to help his career? Or does he have a lot of skeletons in his closet that he doesn't want coming out? I don't know. But it's deeply troubling when I see this shit. And it should be for everybody. You are selling out your country. You are making sure that American service members are killed. You're making sure that Palestinians are killed and Lebanese are killed, all because you're a greedy fuck who has no talent whatsoever. Your looks will fade. You will eventually get so desperate because your entire existence is based on superficiality that you are going to get every known surgery under the sun to keep yourself looking young. And by the time you're 40, if you live that long, you're going to look old, raggedy, and haggard because of all the shit you're going to do to yourself. This guy's not old. He's probably in his early 20s. But this vain fad that's going around right now, looksmaxxing, well, I could tell you they're definitely not doing anything like Jen and I were doing earlier, like playing Scrabble. I won. Not by much, but just enough to flex a little tonight, if only for one night. I have nothing to say. Maybe he is. I don't care if he's gay. I mean, he certainly, like I said, if he is gay, he looks like he's the one taking it. But with that being said, why would you feel the need to do this? I had X. It's not an excuse. It just worked out that way. I cannot believe that there is an Algerian. I don't know anything about that. I can't speak to that and whether that's true. I'm not going to say that you're wrong. I'm just saying that whatever the reasoning is behind looksmaxxing, if it is a white-dominated subgenre, if that's basically what you're saying, I'm not going to argue it because, again, it's not my lane. I'm not overly concerned about it. But this is how it is, guys. And this is why guys like Clavicular have become a famous influencer of what I don't know. But this is an example of what happens when you get people who are just desperate for a life of comfort and power. And in the case of Mr. Clavicular, he's willing to do this. The Israelis have a lot of money to spend because they're spending our money. And that's what they're doing. They're shelling this out. And they are exposing why our system stays broken, may remain it. We have an obligation to try to fix it.